with these 9 ladies. These 9 ladies turned to stone for dancing.
It seems people have always sung and danced at stone circles. These temples to the wind, their circular forms mirroring the discs of the sun and moon, the horizons of the earth, the cycle of seasons and the mysteries of death and rebirth. In the Peak District, there are around 20 prehistoric circles. The oldest are the circle henges of Arborough and the Bull Ring, raised on the limestone plateau of the White Peak by our first farmers in about 3000 BC. Great circular earthworks that once enclosed a ring of standing stones. Today, the earthwork of the Bull Ring is empty, its stones robbed, while the pale slabs of Arborough lie on their backs in the long grass. It is thought they have fallen, weathered, cracked, and blown down by the north wind. Or maybe the church, fearful of rural customs and unchristian fertility rites, had a hand in their demise. More numerous are the small Bronze Age rings, put up by families in the first tree clearings on the Gritstone uplands. The most well-known and well-worn is the 9 Ladies, named after the legend that the stones were once flesh and blood. 9 ladies, turned to stone for dancing on the Sabbath. The outlying kingstone is the fiddler, a scare story perhaps, told to discourage people from continuing to meet at the stones. But the mention of music and dancing is revealing. If stones could speak, what would they say? What stories we'd hear? Well, attempting to give these stones a voice, here from chance encounters, hand-fasting ceremonies and dawn vigils, are the voices of 9 ladies and 1 fiddler who feel a deep connection with the stone circles of the Peak District.
I am the spirit of the earth. I am alive and walking where I am. It's beautiful. I am the walking breath. I am the spirit of the earth.
This body is earth. All the sinew, everything. This body came from the earth. Everything that is alive, we know eventually goes back into the earth because there's that life and death cycle. That's a natural cycle of life. We know that. So every bit of information from all of the ancestors that has ever been has eventually gone back into the earth, but it came from the earth first. And we're not separate from that. So it's this and me, and it's just the journey back to really like the deeper listening, because I do honestly believe and feel and sense that everything I need to know is already what I am. So I came from the earth, I go back to the earth. I mean, where did anything come from anyway in the beginning? Where did it arise from? It had to have come from this planet that we live on. It just has. It's like, for me, it just feels so obvious. So it's a living being. We're living beings, and Mother Earth is our mother. This is the mother.
share of the earth. Gather and share of the sky. Gather and share of each other, all the love and the light. And let us go shining as we walk, shining as we walk. Let us go shining as we walk, shining as we walk. Took a group of about 20 healers to 9 ladies, and we did some preparatory work before we got to the stones, and then I left them to go in and have their relationship with the stone circle. They all sank into a deep meditative place because that's what they did as a group, and the energy was profound. You could feel it. And people, tourists, would arrive and they would just stand on the edge. They didn't go in, they didn't meet it. And someone came up to me and said, "What's happening here?" And I said, "They're meditating." And kids who came running up the path stopped. It was almost like a force field. And I think the stones amplify whatever happens in them. I think the stone circles are amplification places.
I also think there's a real connection between ancestors and stone. Stone is the most solid substance, isn't it? It's what's fundamental, you know. Somehow the two, ancestor and time and all that is connected with stone as well.
And the thing is that the stones are the record keepers, aren't they? They hold the vibration of everything that's passed, including people. Do you know what I mean? And they hold the vibration of, I suppose it's kind of, the consciousness of all of the original people who created it. But also they're picking up on everything else. And I think when they haven't been visited for a while, they're sleeping.
Coming here for donkey years.
Have you?
Yes.
Say hello to the ladies.
Yeah.
I like it when someone's left some candles.
Yeah, people leaving offerings.
Yeah, so used to be, that
Yeah,
tree
so
used to
the
be
tree used to
festooned
be
with ribbons and...
where all the offerings were.
In that oak.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We brought our friend up here and scattered her.
And scattered her ashes around
Yes, so
there.
her ashes are in the middle and all
Some in
round
the
the
middle.
edge and over there round the tree.
If you come in the summer solstice, the whole place is covered in flowers and roses and daisies, and they're all led down, and there's people giving gifts and things. It's just a positive energy. It's nothing negative in this place. It's a positive place, and people just need to understand that. Although they might not have the same beliefs, they may not understand the ancient religions, they may not understand what a person is doing, they just have to respect that person and allow them to be. It's just letting people be. It doesn't affect anybody what she did in the circle, and people just need to let it go and just be. But the summer one is beautiful.
is sort of some energy coming from the tree as well that feeds into the circle, which makes sense. I mean, people love that tree and have continue to leave offerings there, sort of to the Nine Ladies to celebrate.
This is where I'm coming.
Which one?
In the middle, round the edge, and round the circle. This is where you scatter me first.
Okay.
And then in the circle around the oak tree.
No, round the edge first. I know exactly what I want.
And then there's an earth energy, which is kind of a current that goes all around the globe, that people can tap into to access spirit or feed into, feed out of. I mean, we have potential ley lines in ourselves, or energy lines with the chakra system, and I guess the earth, you know, why not? Why wouldn't the earth have that?
Yeah.
It's a living thing.
This body is earth. All the sinew.
I remember living on the protest site. It was a particularly clear night, and we thought, oh, let's, you know, go up to the stones and have a look at the stars. We climbed up, and just as we got to the wishing tree just there, we looked over, and there was just this little, it was the night before Halloween actually, there was a little bit of mist just covering the stones, and we couldn't actually see them, and we definitely felt, okay, that we shouldn't enter that space, like that is sort of closed off to us right now. I think places like this have kind of a spirit of place, for sure. Maybe sort of spiritual guardians, but maybe, I reckon when I die, I'll come back up here and hang out, you know, and make sure no one's having a fire in the stones. Spook them off, you know. But yeah.
Stone circles. I'm always looking a little bit for those answers. You know, it's like I know why they're there. I can't quite. If I look a bit, if I listen a bit more or whatever, I'll really see it all unlocked. But I only ever seem to scratch the surface of it.
And I get the feeling that the people who come here, that they all have their own sort of private rituals, you know?
I think so. There's a few, isn't there, that are fairly well known, like some local people in particular would touch each stone before entering. So you go in a clockwise circle around the stones, touch each one, you know, say hello. Or some who just want to take a moment of stillness and silence here, you know, and not a ritual as such, but just have that time of contemplation and stillness, which is beautiful in itself. I think at the solstice is interesting because it's not sort of formalised.
Do you mind if I just...
No, join us.
Yeah, do.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but listen to what you're saying, and actually it's made me quite emotional. I'm surprised it's made me emotional, but it has. So I'm local, and I come up here all the time, and my husband and I used to come up here all the time, and he suffered really badly from depression. I'm fine, really. I don't know why this has overtaken me. He suffered really badly from depression, and we did a lot of kind of talking up here, and that stone that I was sitting on, we used to call it the stone of positivity, and we used to sit on it, and I used to say, can you feel the vibes? And he used to say, no, it just feels cold. And I used to say, but can't you feel the vibes? Anyway, he took his own life 3.5 years ago, and I continue to come up here, and it's such a special place for me, and I'm not kind of a spiritual at all. I'm not, but this place is so special. And what you were saying about rituals, that's my ritual, that was the stone of positivity, and I just wanted to tell you that, because you were talking about why it's an important place, and it really is. difficult times in the last 3.5 years, I've thought I need to go up to the ladies and just sit on that stone.
Yeah.
And I haven't cried for months.
Excuse me, are you the fiddler?
Well, this is data protection. You might be the Reverend Punisher or something like that.
Witchfinder General.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I could be tied to the Kingstone for all I know. But joking aside, people think that paganism is all devils and skulls, and that's a load of nonsense. That was, the Hammer House horror movies and the inverted pentangle and things like that, and it's all absolute rubbish. The pentangle, which is why people have that star shape, was based on the 5 pagan elements, which are earth, air, fire, water, and the last one, which is spirit. And so true paganism is actually worship of the environment and of the country and the surroundings. And you can see why, because they lived in a far more at one with the seasons sort of living, didn't they? And so, the classic is Easter. Christians celebrate Easter. Christ rose again. It's all watered down and hijacked from paganism. The festival of Easter is from the goddess Eostra. And Eostra was the goddess of rebirth and life, which is what happens in the spring, and which is why we give chocolate eggs at Easter time, because it's eggs, and an egg is rebirth. I better find my wife.
Body of the goddess in the land. Strong she is and beautiful. Strong she is and free. Strong she is and beautiful. She calls to me. I have seen the body of the goddess in the land. I've seen the body of the goddess.
And they made their way across the moor, and there, standing just up on the ridge, was a man all dressed in black, playing at his fiddle, and that tune lifted on the air towards them, and they heard, and it filled their bodies with joy, and they felt the music pulsating in their feet, and they started to move, and night fell, and they danced on, and they danced on. And then they heard church bells starting to ring out at midnight on the Saturday. And they'd heard the stories. They knew they shouldn't dance on the Sabbath, and the bells rang out one after another. And they looked at each other, and their eyes glittered. And they twisted and turned faster than ever. They linked hands, and they said, if only we could stay like this forever, dancing and free. The girls were never seen again. But in their place, some say, on the moor appeared 9 stones in a circle. And people had said that the night before they had heard music drifting off the moor, and they'd heard shrieks of wild gaiety. And they never knew what happened to those girls. But maybe we do.
Light here in this place. I anchor the net of light here in this place. I anchor the net of light here in this place.
May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace, peace, peace.
May all beings be well.
May all be
and
All shining spirits.
Just have to remember sometimes, don't we?
It's to remember to go shining as we walk.
You've been listening to Voices from the Peak, featuring Jade Whitelock, Glennie Kindred, Ross Clark, Annie Keeling, Aimee B, Rachel Murray, Jackie Singer, the Earth Chanters, and John Fothergill, with music by Dave Sturt from his album Dreams and Absurdities, and Ali Riley playing the fiddle on the story of the 9 ladies. Other music was recorded at midsummer festivities. Voices from the Peak is written, recorded and edited by me, Mark Gwynne Jones, and produced by myself and Paul Hopkinson, with support from the Peak District National Park Authority, Derbyshire County Council and Arts Council England.